So people often ask, what does healing actually mean in Kali Ki Reiki? And it's a good question, because we have all kinds of ideas about what healing means. We often think of it, we have a cut and we want it to heal. We want that skin to come back together. But you see, even when that skin comes back together, what's happening? There's a reestablishment, a rebalancing, but there's a reestablishment of wholeness in a certain way. And actually, the Greek word for whole also means to heal. So healing is really about coming into our wholeness. Well, of course, if we're going to be our whole selves, we're not going to be just our physical, we're not going to just be our emotional, we're not going to just be even our psychic, intuitive, and mental self. We're all of that. And we're much more. Because healing, especially in Kali Ki Reiki, you see, coming into our wholeness means coming into our wholeness from the inside out. Because this body, this physical being, it's our vessel. It's our temple in the world, right? That's how so many of us see it. That which it is holding is something subtle beyond form. It is something that exists before the body and exists after the body. It is that soul part of us that is actually deathless, that actually cannot be harmed. There is a part of us that is untouched by physical trauma, emotional trauma. There is a light within us that shines regardless of what's happening out there in our world. When we tap in to that soul self, as I call it, we are tapping in to that which is connected to the universal soul, the great self, to God, to the Brahman, to what I call limitless love. And so healing doesn't start here. It starts inside. And of course, it's an interesting thing to say inside because, really, this soul is not contained by the body. It's just temporarily visiting it. But we know our own being, it doesn't just stop here, right? We can all feel our energy field around us. And that energy field is part of a universal energy field that is also us. So when we talk about healing coming from the inside out, what we're talking about, and this is what happens in Kali Ki Reiki, is that soul, that divine love force within us gets awakened. And it's light, and it radiates, it penetrates out into the denser layers of our being, into our psyche, into our mind, into our emotions, and into our physical body. Now, actually, it's already there inside of all those layers of our being anyway. But when in Kali Ki Reiki, when in meditation, we get more in tune with that inner light, that inner oneness, and that love force extends and penetrates all those other layers, that's when we begin to come in to wholeness. That's when our consciousness begins to transform. That's when we begin to understand what we truly are. And that's when we understand that what I am is what you are. That's when we can begin to feel the unity within all diversity.